Why hello everyone, Spencer here, also known as ScreenSpeak, and in today's video I bring you my Novocaine spoiler review. Not much to spoil, but without further ado, let's discuss. Alright, so guys, I'm very excited to bring you here today for, right out of the gate, I'm saying, my favorite movie out of Q1 of 2025. And this was, I saw Paddington 3, I saw Companion, which also has Jack Quaid, and both that and this film are killer, no pun intended, which is what I said in my post after watching this film. And Jack Quaid brings it his all in both movies, and, you know, Companion was, it's so far my favorite horror this year. It's going to be hard for The Black Phone to top it, but I hope Companion can make it my top 10 of the year. But this is, I mean, definitely I enjoyed more. I mean, Companion is so good for everything it's trying to accomplish, but this one, I'm a big action guy, so watching this, I was like, yes, you nailed it. I mean, literally, you nailed it when he's talking about he can step on a nail and all these things. You know, the genius concept of a guy who cannot feel pain is very clever. All the action set pieces were just genius, and not only were they genius in the film, but the poster. I feel like, you know, I watched Mickey 17 and I made a review about that, and I was very underwhelmed by Mickey 17. It was a great movie, great cinematography, great acting, great cast, whatever. But I thought I was expecting more Mickey 17, and this film delivered on what the trailers represented. Again, I didn't watch the trailer for either Companion or this film all the way through. I just heard about the premise, saw bits and pieces, and went, I will be watching that. And when I heard more about Novocaine, heard more good reviews, I was like, alright, sweet. I have given this film a 4.5 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd, which, if you haven't checked out my Letterboxd, I mean, and again, I'm getting to my scoring earlier in this video, but if you haven't checked out my Letterboxd, it's in the description of my videos and on my profile, or main page of my channel. And again, this film, like I said, it's very clever. Like the poster, the marketing, I'm sorry, the Mickey 17 marketing was very bizarre. I feel like this one was marketed better. It still could have been more. I don't know the statistics on this, but this film needs to be praised. This is like last year's Fall Guy movie that came out, and I love that movie. It was on my top 10 year last year. And this film is, again, similar because it's an action film, but the premise is different. Like, it's not, this movie has stunts, but he's definitely not being injured. Like, there's so much stuff here. There's like a sequence with like Home Alone traps. He literally says in the movie, guy must have been a fan of Home Alone, which there are these three people that rob the bank that Jack Quaid works at, and they're all dressed up in Santa Claus gear, and there's a song, there's Silver Bells that plays. I'm like, okay, it must be a Christmas movie. And then the guy later, one of the robbers is like, well, you booby-trapped your house just like Wile E. Coyote from Looney Tunes. And I'm like, it's funny they did a Looney Tunes reference instead of Home Alone, which then later Jack Quaid mentions Home Alone. I mean, it kind of made sense, like, they didn't want to do all the Christmas stuff. So that's funny. It's just a little bit of a, like, people are like, is this a Christmas movie? Is this not a Christmas movie? So, yeah. I definitely loved everything. You know, Jack Quaid, Jacob Batalon, who is Ned in the Spider-Man movies, Amber Midthunder, bring it their all. Amber Midthunder is the love interest. It's like they took, I remember I heard Jack Quaid in an interview say he brought, like, Before Sunrise and before, like, that trilogy, the Before trilogy into this, like, a little romantic comedy. It's like romantic action comedy, and all of those fit nicely. It's so perfect together. It just meshes, like, right into place. And, like, wasn't expecting the romance, but it's like 30 minutes of romance, and then, like, the action kicks in, and it's so good. There's a good car chase. There's everything about what again, Novocaine, Jack Quaid's character, Nathan Kane, can and can't do because he might kill himself. It's incredible. And his hand, like, he puts his hand. There's a great sequence with one of one of the robbers in this kitchen. Probably my favorite scene in the movie. The car chase is great, but then when he catches this guy, it's like my favorite scene in the kitchen, where he sticks his hand to grab the gun in the oil tray. I was like, his hand burned, but he can't feel pain. He can't feel pain. So it's just genius. And there's all these things in it. Like I said, the Home Alone house, when he gets stabbed, when he gets hit in the knee with a bow and arrow, like an arrow. Not a bow, I meant an arrow. From like a bow and arrow. And then he uses it to, uses the sharp side to cut through the guy's head and just kill him. I'm like, genius. And another scene I loved was with the tattoo shop, when he goes to get a tattoo and he's like, well, I need to find some guy. And he's asking the guy, like, who's this guy? Like, I'm trying to find the guy with the skull tattoo. And then he uses the tattoo gun on the guy's neck, like where he has like a swastika. He's like, and he's just bleeding out because he didn't do the proper procedure. But then Novocaine just takes Nathan Kane just takes it, just puts the address on his hand because he can't feel it. And I'm like, that's just genius. There's genius things like that where he's like, where they do certain things. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. That's genius. It's literally, this is like perfect movie. So this is automatically going on my top 10 of the year right now. It's my favorite movie, Q1. Takes the cake over Paddington. And I like Paddington 3. I enjoyed that. I had a good time at the theater watching that. And Companion was great as well. I'm going to have to, like, right now, I've got to, like, take a step backwards from Companion to say it's going on my top 10, because if I say that right now, like, I can't say that to you or anybody else, because I haven't seen every horror movie this year. Yet again, I haven't seen every action movie this year. There's a new trailer out for John Wick's Ballerina movie. But hey, I can have both of them. I had Fall Guy on my... Well, I guess there was no John Wick movie. So, but anyway. But I can have both of these. I can have two. But I like to typically have one horror movie at the end of the year, so that's kind of where I'm going. Because this feels like a different type of action movie, right? John Wick's Ballerina, those movies, John Wick's and stuff, are their own types of movies. So that's me. This is its own separate thing. But the romance and the way this film ends, Ray Nicholson as the main antagonist kills it. He's perfect. And him and Smile 2, him and this, awesome. Love the chase when I was like, okay, this movie's got to be over, right? I wasn't rushing it, and I was like, well, it must be over now. And then I'm like, oh, something happened. I'm like, oh, whoa. And Jack Nicholson and Jack Quaid's character fight. Or not Jack Nicholson. I meant Ray Nicholson and Jack Quaid, Nathan Kane have a fight. Like, they chase through the ambulance, there's car chase, and then they have their own little brawl. And the girl, Amber Midthunder's character, Sherry, is the sister of Ray Nicholson in the movie. And there's like Jack Quaid's like, what? And then they end up again. Jack Quaid is in a coma, so Jacob Batalon has to help him out, and he's like, Novocaine's like charged with manslaughter and all this stuff because he broke into a house. Again, little spoilers, but you can go check it out for yourself. It's like it's just so cool. I love this film. And then you go to see that he goes to Sherry, Amber Midthunder's character, in jail, and she's in there for 8 months. But then in the beginning of the film, they're at the diner, and she makes him try pie for the first time. So then he eats the pie. It's his birthday or their anniversary, one of the two, and he eats it. And that's how the film ends. He's like so excited and he's like, "Is this character new, or is this cop new?" Because he's very strict. I laughed at that, and I'm like, there could totally be a second one of these. I'd love to see another one where they work together. Like, she's out of jail and they work together to do something. Like, he's still Novocaine. I'd love to see another one of these. I love Nobody. We're getting Nobody 2 this year, and that's another action film. I don't think that'll be on my top 10, but this is definitely great action stuff. And I remember last year the movie Hitman that came out, because I had Hitman and The Fall Guy on my list. And Hitman, I mean, this feels like this is like the romance from the movie Hitman from last year, which I so enjoyed. And this movie is awesome. I want to watch this with my parents. I mean, it's grotesque. It's grotesque. There's certain movies where it's like, ugh, oh, and then I was like a bone literally came out of Novocaine, and I was like, oh, and so I was like, it's not horrifying, it's just like, oh, gnarly. It's gnarly, that's the perfect word. But if you can withstand that stuff, it's a great action romantic comedy, but just know there's some grotesque stuff, gnarly grotesque things in coming up. So that said, this is a 4.5 star out of 5 stars on Letterboxd for me. This is an A+ film. It's certainly like 9 out of 10 stars. 9.5 out of 10 stars to line it up. But I love this a lot. You would have thought it was like a 10 out of 10, like full fresh, but I mean, it's a fresh film for me. It's just like, there could have been more, could have been less. I mean, not less, just could have been a little more, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Super fresh. So this is I'm definitely looking forward to putting this on my top 10 of the year at the end of the year. And again, Jack Quaid has killed it in both Companion and Novocaine. Don't forget to leave a like down below what you thought of this review. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. If you haven't seen Novocaine, be sure to check it out in theaters. I'm definitely planning on watching this again with a friend in theaters. I cannot wait. I mean, I love this so much. I want to see it again. So let me know if you've seen it. If you haven't, you should definitely check it out. Let me know if you have or like you plan to or not. Leave a like, subscribe, follow me where you can on social media. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. I said that about 5 times now. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone.